So pencil I'm using here is Pentel Craft Gear 1000, 0.7 thickness, 2B darkness. In brushes we have Aquatone Pony Imitation Round 8, Princeton Heritage Round 8 and Escoda Perla Round 6 for detailing. Today you don't have to collect all the colors you have because we are painting in grayscale. So all you need is a gray and darker gray. The purpose to paint gray is to make things easier for you to understand. And finally, a tissue is a must in case of emergency. And as usual, I'm using Beihong Artist watercolor paper. Okay, first you draw the frame, then divide it into two with a line which is called the horizon line. Put a dot on the line which we call the vanishing point. Then from there pull straight lines all across the frame. If we follow these lines while painting the buildings, the cars, the people, it will create a sense of depth. So we'll start off with a building which is in the middle ground. So you see you are totally free to explore shapes. Now as these buildings are in the middle ground, they will have medium values. We can also create some depth by weakening the values as the buildings go further away from the viewer, but then the transition needs to be smooth. Coming to the buildings on the left, these are much closer to us and will have stronger values than the buildings in the middle ground. Don't forget to remind yourself about the perspective lines to draw the other part of the building. So we'll manipulate things a bit and place a building in the back to create even more depth. All these parts you see will be very dark in comparison with the buildings in the background. We want to keep the footpath or the walkway bigger than the street itself because we want to focus more on the human figures and less on the cars. These footpaths will have the weakest of values because it's the fall season, and to show some contrast between the street and the footpath, we'll paint the streets way darker. Coming to the cars, we have to paint them in accordance with the values we have already painted. This means if the background is light, we need to paint the cars a bit darker. So you see, these are all illusions we are trying to create. What I'm doing here is not sketching cars. I'm just trying to put some random boxes that imitates a car. To make the scene more interesting, we'll place an old guy with a stick in the foreground. The head is supposed to be somewhere here. Now you might ask, how did I guess that? Observation, dude. When I'm out on the streets or in the market, I just keep on connecting things with each other. I constantly keep on calculating where the heads are, how tall the buildings, where is the horizon line, where the vanishing point could be, what time is it looking warm, cold, neutral? All those information will be very helpful when you decide to paint something. So few figures in the background which also acts as supporting element and draws our eyes to the focus, which is obviously the old guy with a stick. Few windows really help look these boxes a bit like buildings. Alright folks, I'm done with the sketching and talking, and now it's time to rock and roll with some color. But then if you are not ready with all your gear to follow along with me, now is the time to pause the video, collect everything and start sketching. Good luck. Peace.
you.